important thing in the world. Just literally my dad will be president.
Hi guys, welcome back to my run.
But I think you're absolutely right about Joe Biden because I've always wondered, you know, because he makes gap after gap.
I think we're near the start of chapter 2.
Together, he thinks he knows his vegetable, but then the next day he's like shellacked and lucid. Yeah. I was like, what is this hyperbaric chamber? Is he getting blood boys? Is he getting transfusions on a day-to-day basis? No, he's doing the Millennium Blue Sugar. Yeah. It's the secret family recipe. He finally has dipped into the stash, and I think it's done the nation a great service when his dad is actually lucid.
Cat is cocaine keeping this country going.
I was wondering, what if he's the reason for the Adderall shortage?
Is there an Adderall shortage?
There's a massive Adderall shortage. What if it's because Biden needs to take it all?
I think I'm a mess today, man. I can't focus.
Look, if he wants to help his dad a lot, he should have done this interview where he reminded everyone yet again how much longer his sobriety date was past the date he signed that ATF form. Yes. Saying that he was sober to get a gun.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Yes. Guy Latford. I'm just fascinated that we've somehow come to the consensus on this show that the White House cocaine was Joe's and not Hunter's. And then you can imagine Joe in bed at night, and he just sort of laughs. He's like, when they find it, don't blame it on Hunter. They never know it's the big guy. It's the big guy. Cocaine. I do think that what Hunter has done here is he's taken the one Democrat Party talking point and shoehorned it into his narrative, which is saving democracy.
Find the armory.
Saving democracy. So he's like, I'll just apply it to my sobriety. And if that's what it takes for him to stay sober, that's a great point.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, good for you, Guy.
Please study.
He was shaving democracy, but that was the name of the stripper.
Shaving. Up next, he got canned from SNL, but returned and gave him hell.
What to my safe light story? I'm a photographer, and when I'm driving, I
Just
see
precipice.
inspiration right through my glass. So when my windshield cracked, it had to be fixed right. I scheduled the Safe Light Auto Glass. Their experts replaced my windshield and recalibrated my car's advanced safety system. Safe Light is the one I trust. They focus on safety, so I can focus on this view. Safe Light repair, Safe Light replace.
Okay.
My mental health was much better, but I struggled with uncontrollable movements called TD, tardive dyskinesia. TD can be caused by some mental health meds.
And it's unlikely to improve without treatment. I felt like my movements were in the spotlight.
#1 prescribed Ingrezza is the only TD treatment for adults that's always one pill once daily. Ingrezza 80 milligram is proven to reduce TD movements in 7 out of 10 people. People taking Ingrezza can stay on most mental health meds. Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, behaviors, feelings, or have thoughts of suicide. Don't take Ingrezza if you're allergic to its ingredients. Ingrezza may cause serious side effects, including angioedema, potential heart rhythm problems, and abnormal movements. Report fevers, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these may be life-threatening. Sleepiness is the most common side effect. Nice. People focus more on me. Ask your doctor about #1 prescribed once daily Ingrezza.
My melasma made me feel really ugly. I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. I just needed
Controller's not working.
How am I ever going to get rid of it?
Stop suffering from melasma. More than 600,000 people have regained their confidence with Muesli's prescription treatments.
In the first 2 weeks, I was working.
Okay, there it
I
is.
looked at myself in the mirror, and I just thought, I'm back. I've been telling everybody about it. It's been life-changing.
Find the real you again. Go to muesli.com/TV.
Want to see Gutfeld live in New York? Come be a part of our studio audience. Go to foxnews.com/Gutfeld and click on the link to get tickets now.
Repeat after me. Never steal from the weak, the vulnerable again. It's going to be a fire.
Okay, thanks.
There's a beekeeper, a special role outside the chain of command.
The system is corrupt. Be corrected. Stolen millions from people who worked hard all their lives.
We have laws for these things.
Until they fail, then you have me.
The beekeeper, rated R.
When it comes to drugs, how much freedom is too much for kids? Drugs are out there.
Will my teen feel free to say no around other kids? I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. Can I admit that to my kids? Drugs worry me, but how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids? Call or chat to get real-time support.
The last 2 years that I've been on my own, it's been really challenging in order to make ends meet. Even with agency that I deal with for things like food, keeping the cost of food down, help with toiletries and other necessities that if I need, that it gets always done with a smile. Thanks to United Way, seniors like myself live in grace and dignity.
A story in 5 words.
Gillis makes SNL funny.
Like most men, I know exactly when me and my mom stopped being friends. It was the first time I whacked off. Before that, you're like, oh, where's my mom? I love my mom. She's so cool. One nut, you're like, when's that bitch gonna leave the house? So much business to attend to. I do have family members with Down syndrome. It almost got me, huh? My niece has Down syndrome, and I thought I was gonna get a bigger laugh. Every single day in my family's group text, it's just pictures of my niece. And every day somebody else in my family comments, she looks exactly like Uncle Shane. See a little. And there's no denying it, she does. She looks like me with bangs.
Cat, did you watch? What you think?
I did watch, yeah, because he has this sort of rare opportunity that nobody ever gets, where no matter what happens, just walking in there, he already wins. I mean, to get fired from somewhere and then become so undeniable as a talent in your career that they have to ask you back to host it, that's a lot.
It's like if Boston Market calls you and asks you to be the president of their company.
I quit Boston Market. Actually, a week before Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's terrible.
I got a better job as a waitress.
Kennedy, they had this amazing skit of Liberty Mutual and the Bird doing cocaine, and they cut that thing out of the show. It was the funniest thing SNL's probably done in decades. Yeah, so they still don't get it.
No, they don't get it, but it is a sign that the country is making a shift.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, SNL has been the comedy barometer.
Yeah.
And so people have just assumed, oh, they're force-feeding these horribly unflattering Trump impressions down our throat. We have to hate Trump. And they realized that didn't play. Ratings were bad. People tuned out. And now it turns out people actually want both sides to be stewards, and they want to laugh at really filthy things.
You know what I loved about a guy? I was just watching the band behind Shane, and there was this one woman like this the whole time. It was like they refused to laugh. They couldn't be seen chuckling. That was amazing. But he was there. He did a good job. He beat cancel culture. Yeah. He beat it. Right? They canceled him. He flourished, and then he's back. Like Cat's 100% right. And it wasn't. The Liberty Mutual one was dark. Yeah. Dark and hilarious. And then the very happy jiggle at the end. Yeah. Liberty is like awesome. They also did the Trump shoot, the Trump sneakers, which is pretty good. Yeah. With a shot at Biden. Yeah. A gratuitous shot at Biden is not something you would see necessarily. So maybe there is something turning. Yeah, I like to think that it's Trump that saved SNL, Tyler, right? Because Trump was the first guy to come out against politically correct thinking. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And Shane reminded me of when I was a kid watching Dana Carvey, Chris Farley, Adam Sandler. And there's been no one like that since then. And since I was 12, I'm still quoting those guys, like I'll see a girl and get nervous. I'm like, shwing, shwing. This could be our I'll take you back to my band down by the river. And then Shane, brought that out in me. And I was giddy and excited. And he's an awesome guy. Congratulations, Shane. All right. We'll be right back.
Meet the Gen Xers. Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z. Each planning their future for the Chase mobile app. Gen X is planning a summer in Portugal with some help from JP Morgan Wealth Management. Let's go, Whiskers.
Gen Y is working with a banker to budget for her birthday. She only turned 30 months. And Gen Z, her credits golden. Hello, new apartment. 3 gens getting ahead with Chase. Solutions that grow with you. One bank for now, for later, for life. Chase, make more of what's yours.
I was stuck. Unresolved depression symptoms were in my way. I needed more from my antidepressant. Vraylar helped give it a lift. Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant is clinically proven to help relieve overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone. And in Vraylar clinical studies, most saw no substantial impact on weight. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke, report unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults, report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, as these may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Movement dysfunction and restlessness are common side effects. Stomach and sleep issues, dizziness, increased appetite, and fatigue are also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. I didn't have to change my treatment. I just gave it a lift. Ask about Vraylar and learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Toe fungus is tough to kill, and it can spread.
It's time to start using Fungi Nail. Maximum strength Fungi Nail is so powerful it cures and prevents fungal infections. Plus, it has aloe and tea tree oil to restore skin health. Say goodbye to toe fungus with Fungi Nail.
If you've got a military, first responder, or law enforcement background, GovX.com is for you. Members save on epic brands and the gear they need for on and off duty lives. Signing up is fast, easy, totally free. If you qualify, visit GovX.com.
Scout is protected by Simparica Trio, and he's in it to win it. Simparica Trio is the first chew with triple protection. Oh, please! And ticks! Infested old worms! While heartworm disease, no problem with Simparica Trio. This drug class has been associated with
Yeah, I'm sure they can.
reactions, including seizures. Use with caution in dogs with a history of these disorders. For winning protection, go with Simparica Trio.
At Domes, we know one thing and one thing only. Facts. Strange facts from weekend chores to home facts, doing your favorite hobbies. We even know quarterbacks. Domes, the experts in back-end relief for more than 100 years. Available in the store near you.
At Granger, we know the ones who get it done wear a lot of hats. A hard hat is one. Problem solver is another. Whatever the job calls for, we're here. We're America's trusted source for industrial-grade products, with the scale and resources to deliver and the knowledge to help answer tough product questions. Because we know they have to change. But having access to real people ready to help, combined with fast delivery, never goes out of stock. Call Granger.com for just one. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
I'll be honest, by the end of the day, 5 floors, but who has the time to clean? That's why I love my Swiffer WetJet. It's a quick and easy way to get my floors clean. WetJet absorbs and locks grime deep inside. Look at that. Swiffer WetJet. Las Vegas Grand Prix chooses T-Mobile for Business for 5G solutions because T-Mobile is helping power operations and experiences for hundreds of thousands of fans with reliable 5G connectivity. Now's the time to accelerate your business. Lumify?
It's kind of amazing. Wow. Lumify eye drops dramatically reduce redness. In 1 minute, and look at the difference. My eyes look brighter and whiter for up to 8 hours. Lumify really works. See for yourself.
Good evening, I'm Trace Gallagher. It's 11 p.m. on the East Coast, 8 o'clock here in Los Angeles, and this is America's Late News, Fox News at Night. And breaking tonight, there is yet one more Venezuelan illegal immigrant behind bars tonight. This one is accused of sexually assaulting a minor. We have breaking details on that in moments, but we also have disturbing new information on the horrifying case of Laken Riley, the 22-year-old nursing student who police say was murdered by an illegal immigrant from Venezuela. Not only did police arrest him twice and let him go twice, they let him go fast enough that ICE could not get their hands on him. Dana Marie McNichol is live in Athens, Georgia, where outrage in the community continues to grow. Dana Marie, good evening.
Good evening, Trace. We do have new information today confirmed by the coroner. Laken Riley was killed due to blunt force trauma to her head. Now, we are pressing PTA police for details. Like, was there a weapon involved? And if so, what was used. Now, students here on campus, they are mourning the loss of a student while also asking for questions. Today they gathered in the augment for a memorial and a vigil to celebrate the life of the young 22-year-old nursing student gone far too soon.
Be kind. Catch up with your friend. And strive to be the type of person that Lakin was.
Students were given a break from class on Friday, but back on campus today, a student told us their professors have made it a priority to talk about Lakin Riley while referencing great resources on campus. Riley was murdered while running along the intramural fields here on UGA's campus. Although UGA police have not released a motive, they say the suspected killer, Jose Antonio Ibarra, lived extremely close to campus, only 5 minutes away from that crime scene. The Venezuelan migrant entered the U.S. illegally from Paso in 2022, ultimately ending up here in Athens. I spoke to a former FBI violent crimes agent who says the killer acted for reason.
Showing that they did it in the middle of the day also shows potential lack of criminal sophistication. Most people do not want to get caught doing something like this, and the suspect did it in broad daylight.
And the coroner did say a written autopsy report will not be released for another several weeks. And in the meantime, Lakin Riley's funeral is scheduled for this Friday in our hometown of Woodstock, Georgia.
Awful story. Anna Marie, thank you. Now to the new arrest of another Venezuelan immigrant, this time in Virginia, where police say he sexually assaulted a minor. Matt Finn is live with a closer look at this case. Matt,
Good evening, Trace. 26-year-old murder suspect Jose Antonio Ibarra is the illegal alien from Venezuela, the one charged with murdering that University of Georgia student. He first crossed into the U.S. illegally in El Paso, Texas in September 2022. He was released into the U.S. via parole, which is a temporary authorization to be in the United States. ICE says then in August of last year, police arrested Ibarra for acting in a manner that would injure a child less than 17. But New York City is a sanctuary city, so Ibarra was released before ICE could issue a detainer to hold him. Fast forward a few months, and now Ibarra has been charged with the murder of University of Georgia nursing student Lakin Riley. After Ibarra's arrest, the Department of Justice charged Ibarra's brother, also an illegal alien from Venezuela, with having a fake green card. Now, here in Southern California, we've been reporting on the mass releases happening in San Diego. California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa says these releases raise the threat of another illegal immigrant murdering an innocent American like the University of Georgia nursing student.
That young woman would be alive today if not for this president's policies, and there are many others who'd be alive, many who wouldn't have been criminalized.
Also today in Virginia, a 32-year-old Venezuelan man illegally in the country was arrested for sexual assault against a minor. The Campbell County Sheriff's Office says Renzo Mendoza Montez is charged with 2 felonies and is being held without bond. Mendoza was also previously detained by ICE and released in El Paso in September of last year. Trace.
Matt, thank you. Well, the question is the United Common Sense Department is trying to rationalize sanctuary policies across this country, trying to figure out why those who live here legally, the ones we call Americans, are not given the same protections as those who come here illegally. 26-year-old Jose Ibarra, here illegally, was twice arrested and twice let go. Let go so fast that Immigration and Customs Enforcement or ICE did not have time to detain him. Ibarra went from sanctuary of New York to the sanctuary of Athens, Georgia, where police say he murdered 22-year-old Lakin Riley, who made the fatal mistake of going for a jog without sanctuary status. Common Sense thought we learned our lesson in 2015 when Kate Steinle, walking on a San Francisco pier with her dad, was shot and killed by an illegal immigrant who was also protected again and again by a sanctuary city in a sanctuary state. 335,000 Venezuelans were encountered at the southern border in 2023. 834 were deported. Their president does not want them back. Our president wants them apparently so badly, he gave them protected status. How come when illegal immigrants commit crimes, we forgive? When they commit crimes again, we forget? Common Sense thinks the Steinleys and the Rileys will never forget. The violent killers and their sanctuary status. Let's bring in the sheriff of Gwinnett County, Arizona, Mark Lamb. Sheriff, it's great to have you on. I mean, you combine open borders with sanctuary states and cities. It's very dangerous.
Absolutely, Trace. We shouldn't be surprised to see these types of results. And my heart goes out to the
Holy
family.
fuck already. That's weird, man.
We failed as a government.
Try it again.
Joe Biden, this administration, Mayorkas, they failed by not stopping this guy and sending him back to his country. And then he got in trouble in New York, he got in trouble in Georgia. Many opportunities to send this guy back, but he's still here.
Yeah, here's the Georgia governor, Brian Kemp, talking about this case, and I'll get your response.
I sent a letter to the president demanding more information on the illegal immigrants in our country, where they are, and if they've broken any of our laws. Because of the president's failures, we don't know all that we should.
Sheriff, we don't know anything. That's the whole problem here. It's not like we're getting, trickles of it. We're not getting any information from the people who cross and go, especially the dollar ones.
No, we're not getting anything. As a matter of fact, I talked to a Border Patrol guy a few months ago, and he said, Sheriff, we only have the staffing to vet about 5% of the people that are coming in. 5%, and those numbers have gotten significantly worse since then. Last year, we usually average about 40,000 people that are coming in this country that are stopped by Border Patrol that have criminal histories here in our country or have active warrants for arrest from their time here in our country before they were sent back. So this is not something new. We're going to continue to see crime like this. It's part of the reason, Trace, I'm running for the Senate, because I'm sick and tired of dealing with it as a sheriff. I'm going to take this fight to Washington, D.C. and start to take our country back.
Speaking of D.C. lawmakers, here are a couple of lawmakers talking about this very case.
They let him go before a detainer gets to ICE. And what does he do? He ends up in Georgia, and he kills a brilliant young woman.
We lost Lincoln Riley in the past 7 days, and in the past 7 days, 200 families had to bury their kids because of fentanyl.
Yeah, it increases crime. We talk about fentanyl, but it increases crime because when you have 9 million people coming across, they're going to increase the crime.
They're all in my stash.
Eterra's grace be with you.
Of home burglary.
Too bad.
Out in Michigan, they were seeing the same thing. And look, Trace, I'm the 287G jail, which means that we work hand in hand with ICE. When somebody is arrested that's here in this country illegally, we notify ICE. ICE will then put a detainer on them. We used to have maybe 8 to 10 of the people that were arrested here for crimes in our country were being turned over to ICE. You know how many are being turned over to ICE now? 0. ICE is taking none of them.
Yeah, and lastly, I just want to know if you think the death of Lincoln Riley is going to be a dramatic turning point for this border conversation that we've
Fuck is this guy?
have ignored for the better part of 3.5 years.
Not for this administration, Trace, but the American people are waking up, and I think we're going to see a difference in the polls this November. And they should send Mayorkas, Biden, and the crew back.
Sheriff Mark Lamb, great to have you on as always, Sheriff. Thank you. And now for a little analysis, let's bring in former Pentagon Chief of Staff Kash Patel. Kash, great to have you on the show as always. The Washington Post wrote the following here. I'm going to quote this. There is an obvious pattern of right-wing voices elevating those crimes, contributing to and reflecting the widespread belief among Republicans that immigrants are more likely to commit violent crimes. I mean, some of these immigrants have committed violent crimes. We know it, but when you say some crimes, what do you mean some crimes? A 22-year-old was murdered, Kash, and they're talking about some crimes. It sounds like, Ilhan Omar saying some people did some things.
Great, it's great to be with you. You're absolutely right. Look, this is a complete weaponization of justice and politicization to advance narrative rather than protect the American citizen. As a former national security prosecutor who put away criminals and terrorists in the courts of America, we didn't discriminate based on where you came from or what your upbringing was. If you committed a crime, you were arrested and sentenced to prison after being given due process. These people are making excuses because it's their...
What the hell's going on here, man? The guy just came out of nowhere.
A 22-year-old was murdered brutally in Georgia. A child was raped. In New York, a child was free. In New York, each and every one of our 50 states has been subjected to vicious, violent felonies at the hands of illegal immigrants. We could have closed those felonies from happening, and these families could have been whole. But legal analysis is simple. The Constitution is not being followed for a political mandate of a radical left.
I want to put these numbers up, Cash. This is Pew Research saying, do you believe the migrant surge leads to an increased crime in the U.S.? Look at there, 85% of Republicans say yes, 31% of Democrats. Are they getting different information? Because obviously, as we just talked about with the sheriff, obviously it increases crime.
Look, the numbers don't lie. 10 million illegal immigrants. You have scores and scores in each state committing violent felonies. And I just want to highlight one thing about the individual that murdered a college student. He was actually, my sources are telling me, arrested in El Paso for assaulting federal officials. I want to know why the FBI let that individual go and DOJ failed to prosecute him down in the state of Texas. These are instances of misconduct by our government because they are told by DOJ and FBI, not only are we not prosecuting or arresting anyone, but we're going to reward them by letting them go wherever they want. The numbers are hard as money transactions. They show a spike in crime rates by illegal immigrants year over year during the Biden administration.
I got to go, Cash. I just want to get your take on President Biden finally going to the border 3+ years later, and the former president will be there at the same time.
Yeah, I think if it were a pay-per-view match, everybody's going to be watching Donald Trump because his border policy sealed the border, safeguarded Americans, and Joe Biden has done the exact opposite, and it's going to play out right down there in Eagle Pass and El Paso, and I can't wait to see it. America wants President Trump's border security back.
Yeah, Captain Joe, good to have you on as always. Thank you, sir. Meantime, the illegal immigration crisis now appears to be the #1 issue heading into this year's presidential election. And after 3 years of delaying and saying there were more important things to do, as we just talked with Cash about, President Biden finally heading to the southern border. Former President Trump is also heading there. Jackie Ibanez is live with that story tonight. Jackie, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Trace. Well, both President Biden and former President Donald Trump, like you said, they're headed to the great state of Texas Thursday for grueling visits to the southern border. Biden is headed to Brownsville, Texas, where he will meet with U.S. Border Patrol agents, law enforcement, and local leaders there. It's only a second visit to the border since the start of his presidency. Former President Donald Trump will be a little over 300 miles away in Eagle Pass, Texas. Biden said he just learned about his Republican opponent's trip.
You're shitting me.
I was planning to go Thursday. What I didn't know was my good friend apparently is gone.
A Trump campaign spokesperson claimed Trump's trip was planned first, writing on X. Joe Biden has made 3 years to his
Yep, I'm gonna fuck him up.
and fix the crisis he created. Now Biden's handlers are sending him there on the same day as President Trump's publicly reported trip. Not because they actually want to solve the problem, but because they know Biden is losing terribly. We'll show if President Biden doesn't turn things around quickly, the issue of illegal immigration could prove to be a major political liability for him come November. According to recent Monmouth University poll, 84% of Americans see illegal immigration as a very serious or somewhat serious issue for the United States right now, while just 26% of Americans approve of Biden's handling of the issue. And Trace, we can expect Biden to point the finger at Republicans on Thursday for the continuing migrant crisis after seeking an effort to pass a bipartisan border security agreement in Congress.
I would expect no less. No less at all. Jackie, thank you. Let's bring in Aaron Perini of Axiom Strategies, attorney and RNC surrogate, Mahek Cook, along with Republican candidate from California's 49th Congressional District, VetCom founder Caitlin Rowe. Thank you all for coming on. I want to play this. I want to go back in time, back 3+ years, Aaron Perini. This is what we've been told by the president for a while about going to the border. Watch.
Are you thinking of going to the border?
At that point, I wrote you had plans to visit the southern border. I've been there before, and I haven't. I mean, I know it well. I guess I should go down.
Plans to visit the border?
Not in the near term, no. I would just be disruptive.
6 months ago, bigger fish to fry, Aaron, and now that he looks at the polls, he's like, this is probably fish number 1.
Right. This is a day late and $1 short for Joe Biden to try and put on what's going to be a political stunt by his own measure. They have said at the White House as of this point they don't plan to put forward any executive actions, initiative, or legislative rollout on this trip. So it's purely for photos and not to address the actual crisis that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Democrats have really levied on the country with an open border policy. Now there is a dead student in Georgia at the hands of an illegal immigrant, and the polling is showing that Joe Biden is vastly underwater, with only a quarter of Americans saying he's handling this appropriately. Going for show to the southern border continues to solve nothing by the President of the United States. There needs to be actual action to secure the border. Why not force the laws on the books that exist right now and ask for what further measures need to be done instead of political sense? But Joe Biden doesn't care to actually address the issue at
What
hand.
gets me, Mahek, in this whole thing is, they're not going to be, it's hundreds of miles of border. They're not going to be side by
Alright, guys,
side.
we'll catch you next time, alright?
Down there, you have the president who has made his first at the very same time. He's the one that took down all the Trump policies, right? He took down Remain in Mexico. He is going to have to fib his way out of this.